Yo, what is up, everybody? So let's go back again with another chapter from the story The Cave, written by Old School Horror. Remember to check out the links in the description. Show love to the author. Like, comment, subscribe. Chapter 4. The group moved around carefully. Tom instructed the kids to stay close. Unknowing dangers might wait for them at every step. While studying the cave ceiling, Tom noticed many small channels behind the spiderweb. They were of various diameters, from an inch or two to many inches wide. It was obvious that these channels were not natural. Someone had carved them to the rock. Something rattled on the floor, and Katie let out a frightening gasp, then pointed her flashlight down. It was a piece of bone. "What is that, Dad?" asked Alex. Looks like a jawbone of some kind of animal." "What animal? A dinosaur?" "No, Stevie, not a dinosaur. I think it belonged to a cow, or a buffalo maybe." "But how did it get in here?" asked Katie. It was probably brought in here a long time ago by the same people who had drawn these paintings." "They hunted it down, right?" "Yeah, I think so. I see carvings on the bone too, a sign that it was cleaned of meat by something crude, like a bone knife." "But why did they seal it in the cave?" This question did not cross my mind. Tom then kept thinking for a moment as he was too busy exploring. Who knows who sealed the cave? Maybe it was somebody else in the later period. I can't tell. Maybe somebody was bothered by the cave because of the wild animals, wolves maybe, and used it as shelter. They didn't want them here, so they sealed it up. Tom then turned the bone on his hand, then dropped it while jerking his hand back. He also uttered a quick cry of fright. About a half-inch from his fingers, an odd-looking spider was clinging to the bone. After Tom dropped the bone, the spider began crawling away. It was fist-sized with a brownish black color. The creature's legs were stubby and hairy. What was most striking about its appearance, though, were the stiff, horizontal appendages coming out of its head. They were full of teeth like spikes on the inner insides. As the spider was running for cover, the appendages were moving in a scissor-like fashion. Tom was awakened from his amazement by Alex, who took a large rock and dropped it on the ugly crawler. The spider's innards shot out from under the rock and smeared over the cave floor. "Ugh, that was gross," said Katie. "Sorry, but it was ugly," replied Alex. Tom didn't reply this time. He was glad that the spider had his guts spilled. It gave him a good scare. "Dad, are we gonna leave now?" asked Katie. "Why, honey? Didn't you want to explore the cave?" "I'm scared. This place creeps me out." "All right then, we'll leave soon. Let me just look around a bit, okay?" She nodded, but didn't like her father's answer. Searching the cave floor some more, Tom noticed that there were more animal bones scattered around. Reaching the opposite wall, he shone his light up. The remnant of a large rat was visible through the cobweb. It looked fresh compared to the animal bones. A few weeks maybe a month old. The rat might have come in through the many channels in the wall or ceiling, then got caught in the webs. Tom took a piece of large bone which was lying by his feet and probed the webs. He expected them to break away easily, but to his surprise, the webs were stronger than usual. So, this is why the rats got caught. The web's unusual strength prevented them from escaping. But what spiders can make such strong webs? He then jumped back when the rat moved. Tom looked with wide eyes, then saw a white spider crawling out of it. What the hell, he thought. Are there white spiders anywhere in existence? It had a small body, but long, slim legs. Small black stripes were visible on the creature's legs. From a distance, however, it looked completely white. Wow, this must be a heaven for biologists, thought Tom, while continuing to look around. What's a biologist? Asked Steve. But Tom couldn't answer. He heard a rumble and then a scream. Tom quickly localized the direction of the scream. It came from Alex, who had wandered away from the group. Tom ran deeper into the chamber and saw a gaping hole near one of the walls. Alex was moaning from down there. He was hurt, and Tom could hear it in his voice. Panic overwhelmed him, but he tried to keep it together. Tom, Katie, and Stevie were standing at the edge of the hole. Fortunately, it wasn't too deep, so Tom could climb down and get the boy out. He gave the flashlight to Stevie and prepared to descend. Dad, hurry, Dad. My leg hurts. I'm coming, son. Just stay put. I'll be there in a minute. Katie, Stevie, shine the lights into the hole. Hurry, Dad, hurry. Something's down here. Tom's face became as white as lime. Of course, in the dim light, this was not visible. His heart started pounding like a hammer. Now, the only thing in his mind was to get his son out and go home as quickly as possible. Choosing to stay here was a bad idea, but it was already too late. Come on, Dad, come on, I'm afraid, please. When Tom lowered one of his legs into the hole, the earth gave way under him. He and the two kids fell, tumbling down the hole. Tom hit his head in the earth while he was trying to avoid falling onto Alex. He missed his son by inches. Katie and Stevie fell on him, so they were not seriously injured. Tom shook his head, then reached behind it with his hand. It was wet, which means he hit his head pretty well. The tunnel walls were slick with some kind of slime that had only enough time to dry somewhat. It was sticky, and the nauseous smell it was emitting was burning through their nostrils. Dad, are you alright? Asked Katie. Yeah, I guess. I think I'm alright. Then Tom tried to get up, but the world was whirling around him. Katie found one of the flashlights, and she was searching for the other one. Finally found that one too, but it was broken. It fell onto a sharp rock and refused to work anymore. Are you hurt, Alex? I think so. think I broke my knee. Alright, look, we'll get out of here soon. Just let me look around, okay? Hurry, Dad. I'm afraid, pleaded Katie. Don't worry. I'll find a way. I'll get us out of here. Don't worry. What's this smell? Asked Katie. I don't know, honey. Who knows when the last time this place had seen some fresh air. It's gross. I want to get out of here, said Stevie. Tom pointed the flashlight around and inspected its surroundings. They fell into a tunnel that was clear to him. It was fairly large, and the man could easily walk through it by standing upright. To his left, the tunnel was not as wide as to his right. He could see a large lump on the ceiling on the left side at about 12 feet in front of him. To his right, the tunnel seemed to be going upwards a little. It might go to the surface, he thought. Dad, let's go, please. I heard something moving down here. Please hurry up. It was probably a rat. Don't worry. Tom wanted to go to the right to check where they were leading to. Suddenly, the rustling Alex had been talking about began again. He stopped and turned with a light in hand. Nothing. The rustling stopped. The children were looking around in fear. They were staying close to Tom. Dad, I can't really walk. My leg hurts. Sorry, son. Look, I'll try my best. I'll slowly lift you up. Hopefully, it won't hurt that much. So he lifted his son up, then followed the tunnel. After a few feet, the rustling came again behind them. Tom turned and looked, but saw nothing more out of the ordinary than it already was. They continued, and after a few more steps, they saw that the tunnel took a sharp turn and went almost straight up. There was no way they could continue, especially with an injured Alex. What are we gonna do? Said Stevie. I have an idea, said Tom, and turned back. Katie, Stevie followed. Went back to the place where the cave had caved in. The lump, which had been on the tunnel ceiling, seemed to be closer, or Tom shook his head. He thought about the fall and how he had hit his head. He wasn't seeing things right. At least, this was he was thinking. Alright, look, Katie, Stevie, I will try to lift you up to the surface. I will begin with Stevie because he's smaller. Then I'll try to lift you, Katie. Stevie can help you from up there in case you're too heavy. The children nodded. Hearing a plan gave them some kind of security, maybe hope. Anyway, hearing a plausible plan to save themselves helped a great deal to lift their spirits. Alex, I will put you down here, alright? And then try to get Stevie and Katie out, alright? Alright, that's alright, Dad. Alex then nodded while holding his knee. It was pulsating with pain, which began to manifest itself as the level of endorphins was declining. Stevie was a skinny kid, so Tom lifted him up easily. The faint light which was creeping in through the cave's main entrance was enough for Stevie to see his way around. The agile little boy got out, no problems. Next came Katie. She was heavier, however. Lucky for her, Tom was still in good shape. Tom didn't think that after all these years going to the gym, it was finally going to pay off. A thud, a scream, then quick rustling hit their ears. Then more screaming. "Pull, Stevie, pull!" screamed Tom. And when he felt that Katie's legs were going up on their own, quickly turned the light in the hand. He saw a shape crawling in the distance, the left part of the tunnel. Alex's screams were coming from farther and farther away. These screams, however, were the worst Tom had ever heard till now. The lump, which used to be on the ceiling, was not there anymore. Tom couldn't wrap his mind around this, nor he had the time for it. "Alright, go get help, Katie. Go get help," shouted, then began running in the direction where the screams were coming from. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of chapter